Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. This is Sci-Fi Sunday on this channel where we talk about all things sci-fi and fantasy. And today we have to talk about Sony's brand new plan to actually keep Spider-Man in the Sony universe in a very clever way. So let's jump right into it. Alright, so the Sony Spider-Man spin-off movies and their whole little Spider-Man universe within Sony hasn't been doing that well. And it has started to fall apart. Madam Web didn't do as well as people thought it did. The Venom movies, while they were the highlight, also had a few problems. Everything that Marvel has tried to do over at Marvel is doing fine, but Sony's version of Marvel has left a lot to be desired. And because of this, we've slowly watched this world crumble. Now, Sony has made a lot of money off the Spider-Man franchise, and therefore they're not ready to give up at all. In fact, they may have a way that they're going to fix it. And how might this be? Well, here's the thing. They might just be bringing in the two previous Spider-Men into their universe on a more permanent basis. That's right, Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield could very well return to the Sony Spider franchise. And this would actually work. At least that's what Sony is hoping for. We do know the plot of the new Venom movie. The new Venom movie is going to be about Venom having to make a decision whether or not he would kill a young Spider-Man before he becomes Spider-Man in order to prevent him from dying in yet another universe. So he convinces Eddie to go and try to get this young Spider-Man. Only what they find out is that they're not the only ones that are wanting this kid dead. And they end up changing their mind and sort of wanting to protect Spider-Man. Well, this kind of is the setup. Tom Hardy has done an amazing job as Venom, and a lot of people really love his interpretation and they want to see him continue as the character. This can't really happen if he is going to have his franchise end, or can it? You see, the thing that they're hoping is that they can put him in other movies, along with Spider-Man. Bringing Spider-Man back into the Sony universe and having a Spider-Man that they can use while allowing Marvel to continue with the Tom Holland Spider-Man actually is a stroke of genius for them. At least they're hoping it is. And having Tom Hardy continue to play Eddie Brock is something that they're banking on. They actually do want to keep him around. And this means that he could go into the Marvel Cinematic Universe as well. As part of that Marvel Spider-Man deal, they could very well use him in the Marvel Universe. And this would actually satisfy everyone if they can pull it off in a way that actually works. At least we know in the Marvel part of the franchise it's going to turn out really cool. But in the Sony universe, will it turn out as good as they hope? How exactly could they set this up? And how would it work if they did? Well, the answer may actually be in the new Venom movie as well as the setup of the Madam Web movie, because the Madam Web movie was supposed to have included Spider-Man. At least that is the rumor. And if that rumor is true, then this is a game changer, because that means he travels back in time. This enemy travels back in time to kill Spider-Man. And it probably wouldn't have worked that well to just randomly put Spider-Man in it, but the rumor is they were going to do just that. And if they were going to do just that, then time travel would almost have to be at play. The second you introduce a time travel plot into which you would kill Spider-Man before he became Spider-Man, now you have something to work with. That something became the plot to Venom 3, and that may just be how they work to change the Sony universe and make it into something fresh. The timeline doesn't exactly match up to the to the Marvel Universe at all. Whereas if you look at the Venom movies, it really does match up. It matches up perfectly because we saw him jump into the Marvel Cinematic Universe for just a fraction of a second in the end credit scene of one of the movies. And that's cool. But in order to fix this, that means that there has to be a younger version of Spider-Man in his universe that probably would not grow up to look like Tom Holland. So if you have a younger version of him that doesn't grow up to look like Tom Holland, then who exactly does it grow up to look like? Either Tobey Maguire or Andrew Garfield. But we also live in a world where both of these guys have played them and maybe could play them again in some capacity. So there is a bit of craziness to this plan, but if they can make this work and do this whole time travel thing, they could do it. But they're not going to be able to do a time travel plot because they took that out of Madam Web because apparently they thought it would be too crazy. But then they gave the exact plot of that, more or less, to Venom 3, which means there's a 10-year-old Peter Parker that will grow up to be a version of Spider-Man that Tom Hardy's Venom could potentially fight. Since we know that they want him to come back as Venom in other movies, it's also possible they will keep a version of him around in the Sony universe as well. Because it looks like he could pivot to both Marvel and Sony as the character almost flawlessly now. But when you look at the Spider-Man that we have, Tom Holland's Spider-Man is almost exclusive to the Marvel Cinematic Universe. So they have to have their own Spider-Man if they are going to be doing this, because they have to make sure that they can be profitable. And the most profitable thing they have is Spider-Man. And having characters that are in the Spider-Man universe that can't even fight Spider-Man doesn't make any sense. So now it seems as though someone somewhere has started to make this decision, and we could be looking at a brand new start for the Sony Spider-Man universe, and it could all be beginning with Venom 3. Now, I know that this sounds crazy, but this is the rumor that's going around, and I absolutely am down for this. We don't have to have Tom Holland play Spider-Man in the Sony universe. We wanted that at one time, but we've never actually gotten that. And then a lot of people do want Tobey Maguire or Andrew Garfield to continue on from their movies, and this would be an opportunity for one of them to do that, to be able to be the face of Spider-Man going forward in the Sony universe, thus giving fans what they really want: Spider-Man in the Sony universe as well. And this would be a great marketing ploy because we have already set up that multiverse that allows that Spider-Man to also go into the Marvel Cinematic Universe should they need to do it. So this works out more perfect than even you would think, because now we have an opportunity to really keep that multiverse around, because Spider-Man has his own sort of weird thing. That whole Spider-Verse thing that goes on in the Spider-Man comics is something that has existed for a while, and it's something that they played heavily into, and this would allow both Marvel and Sony to use that in future movies. So I really think this becomes a win-win. I think that this is a perfect thing for them to try to do. I hope that this rumor does prove to be true, but right now it is them announcing that this is their plan, and so it's a little bit more than just a rumor. But even still, with this sort of announcement, will this come to fruition? Is this going to change? So far, Sony has been very inconsistent in what they're doing. a lot of their movies have sort of fallen and not been filmed. And a lot of the ideas that they've had haven't come to fruition either. And now we could be looking at something that would potentially put Spider-Man back in Sony's hands and leave him in Marvel at the same time. I want to know what you guys think about this though. Are you excited that Spider-Man could appear in both Sony and Marvel and not be played by the same actor? Do you think that's a mistake? Do you think it's going to confuse people? Do you think it's going to upset people? Do you think that Tom Holland needs to be Spider-Man all the way across the board? Do you honestly think that we need Tom Hardy to play Venom in the Marvel Universe? Should he be kept in the Sony Universe? Should he be just for the Sony Universe? And what do you think of this concept of this 10-year-old Spider-Man in the new Venom movie? How does all of this make you feel? Are you excited to see what they do with this franchise afterwards? Since we know it's not going to be the Venom franchise, could they redo a Spider-Man franchise again with one of the actors that we love? As always, we definitely want to hear from you guys. Let us know what you think in the comments below. Don't forget to share this video with all of your friends because this news is insane and they're going to want to be a part of this conversation as well. Don't forget to hit the like button. It is free, it helps the channel, and we definitely appreciate it. Then friends, Miko says we need more subscribers. Look at this face. You don't want to disappoint Miko, so go ahead and hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell while you're down there, so you don't miss a single video we do. Then friends, at the end of the day, I know it, you know it, and Miko knows it. Fandom is family.